أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam and my dear brothers and sisters in humanity, I greet you with the greeting of Islam, which is peace be upon you. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. Today I'm responding to a video sent to me by a good friend and a brother in humanity, Jerry. There is this new man who calls himself the Apostate Prophet, and to be honest, I never paid any attention to him. I've seen some other brothers refuting him, but I don't have time to go through all that. But since it's coming from my good friend Jerry, and I had a nice debate with him yesterday on the street. So Jerry, I'm still waiting for the answers for the questions I asked you. You do remember, huh? Okay, so now we're going back to his video, to this Apostate Prophet. I'm going to take a snapshot of it so you guys will see what's the story. What happened is, the topic of the video is the truth about the Kaaba. But then, as you know, there's always an introduction, and the introduction is all about, oh, look what's wrong with Islam, oh, terrorism, beating the women and stuff like that. You know, it's just ridiculous. And then I'm just sick of that that tape that going round and round. But anyway, I'll go straight to the point. The very first point he starts with is Hagar, whether she is a handmaiden of Abraham, or is she a wife. He says that in the Bible she is a handmaid, and all of a sudden Muslims, they have her as a second wife. Well, I've got news for you, Mr. Apostate Prophet. It's very simple. First of all, that statement that you just spouted in there proves that you are an ignorant. Second, it proves that you never read Genesis. Third, proves that you're a liar and a deceiver. That's number 4, deceiver. So you're not very far from Christian Prince, because what the similarity between the two of you is that you go cherry picking, yeah, and deceiving the ignorant Catholics or Christians whom listen to you. They're not only ignorant, they're gullibles, and they're enjoying being deceived, because when someone like you or Christian Prince drop things in there, what happens is they just take it at face value, and that's it. Yeah, oh, this man, he's a prophet, so we believe him. And then below at the comment area, you will find people coming and, wow, yeah, this man, is amazing. Look what he's doing to Islam. He's slicing and dicing it. And especially you, Jerry. I was surprised yesterday when you were actually very happy when Christian Prince was mocking Dr. Zakir. It is just, look, I never thought that you or any Christian would go that low, but you seem to be enjoying it. That your man, your big man who is, he is actually refuting Islam, makes that comedy and mocks people and calls them donkeys and stuff like that. I doubt the God you worship, Jesus, will be happy with you or with him by doing that, but doing what you're doing. But let's go back to the Apostate Prophet. So in order to show you, Mr. Apostate Prophet, that you don't know the Bible, what I did, very simple. I just went into the Bible, opened it, went to here, where is it? Okay, I need to go through and show that. So Hagar. So I'm going to read what I'm going to post to you. I'm going to post it here, right here. Genesis 16:3. That's Genesis chapter 16 verse 3. And there are many versions, as you can see in that. So after Abraham had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai, his wife, took her Egyptian slave Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his wife. Ta-da! Okay, to be his wife. This is the Bible. This is not the Quran. By the way, in the Quran it doesn't say his wife or anything. Okay, it's the Bible. I will leave the Quran because you didn't speak about the Quran. You said, oh, Muslims made her, in Islam, made her second wife. Very simple. There it is. There it is. Okay, and the next thing, you spoke about, what was it? Let me go back to it. So you spoke about, you know, the lineage and the Abraham's children, Isaac and Ishmael. And you said, oh, well, you see, the Bible says Isaac. And we Muslims say Ishmael. That's it. So what do you want? You say whatever you want to say. You say Isaac, Isaac. Okay, Isaac. Okay, fine. Are you okay with it? I hope you're happy. You and Jerry and the others. I am happy with Ishmael. The thing is, you people, going back to the topic of Abraham, you people accuse the father of your religion, Abraham. You accuse him of sleeping with a woman whom is not his wife. That is called fornication or adultery. Yeah. So you're accusing him of that, because I debated many Christians and they say to me that Ishmael is a bastard. He's not a legitimate son. Your Bible, when it talks about Ishmael, says that he will be a king and his 12 sons will be kings and he will be a great nation and all that. Yet, you, Christian, who claim to be followers of Jesus, the Jesus whom you call the God of love, you go around mocking people, you go around, or not people, forget about the people, now we're talking about prophets and messengers and men of God. You accuse Abraham sleeping or having like one of your friends, he said his, how did he call it? Carnal. It was carnal, coming like flesh. It was just a flesh thing. It was nothing. Yeah, your Bible says that it was his wife, yet you know. And many other instances where it says that Ishmael was his seed. And by the way, I'm going to get that first. So the Apostate Prophet goes on and start talking about the Kaaba being there, yet the Christians and the Jews who lived in the area did not have it as a shrine. They never bothered with it. What does that mean, sir? Hello? The Jews were actually praying towards Jerusalem. The Christians, they don't have such a thing. Christians have their crosses at home, or the statues, or the idols they worship, and that's it. They don't need the house of God. So by you saying that the pagans were actually the only people interested in the Kaaba does not make any sense. What makes sense is that the Arabs who lived in the peninsula all had those ties towards the Kaaba. It's because it was in their history, the Ishmaelites, from the time the Baytullah, like you call it and you know it, was built by Abraham and his son Ishmael, who took care of it later on. It stayed as a tradition that this is the house of Allah, or the Baytullah, or the house of God. Unfortunately, what happened is people lose track of things. And then what used to be monotheism by Abraham and his son Ishmael, later on, little by little, it was turned into something else. Hello, do I need to remind you what you guys are doing, that you Christians are doing? You turned the monotheism of the Jews, and I'm saying monotheism of the Jews as in Jesus being a Jew who worshipped one God, you turned it into three gods in one, or one in three. You figure it out. And then you have crosses, and you have the statue of Mary, you have the statue of Jesus, you have statues of saints, and so on and so forth. So it's been only 2,000 years, and you ruined it. So that's the parable of the Arabs of the time. What they had to, the house was there, that never changed, because it's there, it's passed from generation to generation. Yet the concept of God to them actually had to be something to be touched, just like the Jews when they asked Moses when they were in the wilderness to make them statues like the pagans of the time. That's normal. With time it changes. Alhamdulillah, thank God Islam would not go there, because we have the Quran, remember, and you don't have anything. Oh, yeah, you're going to say, oh, we have the Bible. No, you don't. You don't. It's something that has been written later on. Okay? You don't have any original text of it. None whatsoever. Without even forgetting that Jesus spoke Aramaic at the time. You don't have a single manuscript in the original language. It was a translation of a translation, or a copy of a copy of a copy that never existed. The Jews might have some of the originals, but you Christians just forget about it. You just don't even think about that. Going back to the topic, I stopped at minute 3 and 10 seconds. I'm gonna pause it and get back to you. You did hit the point afterwards that the Kaaba was dedicated only to God, and then people were actually inclined into going into polytheism. You covered that bit. I'll have to give you that. But then you went into another deception, saying that, Prophet Muhammad was preaching by the Kaaba. Okay, then he migrated, and then he came back and conquered Makkah, and he destroyed the idols. Look at you, the way you're putting it. Oh my God. You just want your deception to sound like music to someone's ears. Oh, how come he came and he destroyed someone's belief, someone's idol? Oh, that is violence. Oh my God, you hypocrite. You hypocrite. Why don't you talk about the whole story, what happened on that day? Why don't you talk to them and tell them that when the pagans realized that they have been defeated without a bloodshed. No one got killed. It was not even a war. It was an overwhelming power from Allah in the thousands and thousands of Muslims coming. People realized that, oh, what's going to happen to us? So, and they asked the Prophet, and he said to them, you're free to go. Once they saw that, they realized that a normal man would not have done that. Do you know why? Mr. Apostate Prophet? It's because the way they treated him and the way they treated his followers, they were killing them, they were whipping them, they took all their properties, they chased them, and then they followed them till Medina with wars and killed them. They were persecuting Muslims everywhere. So when Muslims came back with the power, they actually told them to go, you're free, you're forgiven. At that day, why we call it the Yawm al-Fath, that day, it was the day where people opened their heart to Islam. The majority of the pagan of Mecca, of Quraysh, accepted Islam on that day. Yeah? It was one man who actually ran away because he was an apostate just like you, and then he hid in some of the valleys in Mecca, in some of the mountains, and our beloved Prophet sent to him a message that you are safe. There is no need for you to hide. Later on, that man came back to Islam. Now we have a situation where everyone accepted Islam. Then our beloved Prophet ordered for the idols to be destroyed. It's not like the way you, deceiver, cheater, are describing it in order to deceive people in here. So I'm going back to your video and I'll get back to you. Let me breathe. Because, you know, your lies are very heavy, very, very heavy to take. And your deception is dangerous. But then you gave an example. You said, well, you see, just imagine you go to Makkah now, anyone creates or come up with a new religion, and he goes to Makkah and destroys the Kaaba and then builds a temple, and they say, oh, well, my God said to me to do that. You see what you're trying to do here? You're trying to say, oh, well, this is oppression, this is violence. Did you not read the Bible? Did you not read how, take Jacob. Did you not read how Jacob actually lived his life and the way he was killing people in front of him? And the Israelites themselves, yeah, when they were kind of on their exodus, going all the way to Palestine. Did you not read? I am really surprised. I am astonished at the level. It's either the level of ignorance or the level of deception. Yeah? Because they were going through killing everyone on their way. Apparently they had the ark, and the ark was giving them power and was killing everyone on the way. Everyone, for God's sake. Even the city, the Canaanite, when they went there, when they took 1,000 soldiers from every tribe, Moses and Aaron, and they sent them to the Canaanite, and they said, kill every man and woman and young and old, and kill the animals, kill the donkeys and the chicken. They were killing chickens and dogs. Oh, with one exception. Keep the girls who never slept, the virgins, for yourselves. And they took like 38,000. I wonder how they figure out that they were virgins. Like, you start killing people who accept that they're virgins. Every woman will say, I'm a virgin. Even me, I will say, I am a virgin. And actually, even me, as a man, when I see people being killed, I will say, oh, I'm a woman and I'm virgin, in front of the sword. You don't know anything of that. You don't know anything about that. Yet you would say you come and you twist history about the coming of the Prophet conquering Mecca, and you turn it into a violence and all that. You deceiver, you. I'll get back to you. Next point, minute 5, 11 seconds. That's the end of the point, so I'm gonna cover it quickly. You speak about the Qibla, about praying towards the Kaaba. Well, you say that the Jews, but what you're implying to say is that Muhammad was praying before towards the Jerusalem, but then he realized, oh, the Jews are praying towards Jerusalem. I'm gonna change. Ah, you stupid idiot! Do you not read the Quran? Anything? You're supposed to be an apostate. You must have heard that there is a whole discussion about changing the direction. Yeah? Well, let's start from the beginning. Now, at the time of the Prophet, when he was at the Kaaba, in Mecca, if he prayed, yeah? You see, if it was the way you're picturing it, I wouldn't be a Muslim today. Or right now, if you said it in front of me, I would have left Islam. Do you know why? Because if at the time when the Prophet and his followers, the very first followers in Mecca, in the very first 13 years when they lived in Mecca, if he prayed towards the Kaaba, then he would be praying exactly the same as the pagans were, where there was 360 idols in there. So he would be exactly the same. So there's no difference. Whereas at the time, there was no idols in Jerusalem, which was still a holy site. Okay? Then, when the Prophet migrated to Medina from Mecca, there was 5 Jewish tribes. And then when they started gossiping, oh, well, this man, you see, he's praying towards our direction. So he's just another false prophet. And he just wants to concoct a new book and create a new religion for himself. And then it started as a trial and tribulation. It became fitna. It became a big story. So the Jews actually made this in order to destabilize Islam and the Prophet and his followers. Very easy. Our Lord and Creator knows us all. Is that what they want? They say that we Muslims, okay, just change and pray towards the Kaaba. That's all. That's all that happened, and it is treated in very few verses, nicely, neatly, for people like you with sick hearts and sick minds, whom are actually trying to turn it into a big issue, though it is not a big issue. That's because we do not worship the Kaaba. Hello, you apostate, whatever prophet, Jerry and the others, the Kaaba is merely a direction. Mizra, like he said, direction towards the east. For us as Muslims, it's for the sake and for the unity. Okay, the purpose of praying all in one direction is to unify us. Okay, instead of each one of us praying in his own direction, no, it's to unify us. Do you understand that? The purpose is to all of us pray the same direction. We do not worship the Kaaba, sir. You know that. And that even non-Muslims know that we do not worship the Kaaba. Okay? Okay? We worship one and only. That's Allah. The unseen Allah. Okay? The unseen God. Not the one that is on the cross. I'll get back to you. Oh, you spoke about the Jews mocking the Prophet again. Tell me, when was the Prophet hostile to them? I think you lack information about history. Yeah, it just go and do a little bit of research. Do some homework before you come out here and lie to people. The time that the Qibla, the direction was changed, and the hostility between the Muslims and the Jewish tribe are way far from each other, sir. And then you came up with the question, you say, what is the test? Because the Quran says that it is a test for the believer to see who follows, who does not follow. Well, it's very simple, sir. It's like you're not thinking. The test was that the followers were told by our beloved Prophet to pray towards Jerusalem. Are you telling me that those followers did not know that the Jews were praying towards Jerusalem? The test is them obeying him and praying towards that, knowing that even the Jews are praying towards Jerusalem. They will still obey. And when you obey the Prophet, you obey Allah. Whoever obeys the Prophet obeys Allah. That is the test. At the time, the Arabs and the Jews were not good friends. You see, the Jews were monotheism, were people of the book. They had a book, they had a religion, an organized religion, they had direction, they have a set of prayers, they had the Torah to read, a book from God and all that, though it was not the original. But fine, that's not our topic. We'll talk about it some other time. The Arabs at the time, they had nothing. They were pagans. They were worshipping idols. They were worshipping statues that they make themselves. Yeah, carving them, sculpturing, whatever they were making, stuff from wood, stuff from rocks, stuff from dates. I don't know. They were making stuff anyway. Yet, when the Prophet told them this is the direction we pray, they obeyed him. That was the test, sir. An open and a sealed heart like yours would not understand the test. Yeah, it is very important that they would follow the Prophet even when he told them to pray towards the Jerusalem, when they knew that the Jews were praying towards Jerusalem. They did not ask, they did not question it. Yeah, because they had a belief that this man is coming from God, he's telling us the truth. We will believe him and we will obey him. You say that this change of the Qibla, of the prayer direction, makes Islam look ridiculous. Do you know how bad you look now when you say that? You really, really look bad, cheap, and low. Because us changing direction of prayers does not mean we're changing God. We're praying to the same God, sir. I'm going to explain it again, very simple, so dumb people will understand it. The direction does not matter. It's who you're praying to that matters, sir. And you're the one being ridiculous in here. It does not matter which way you go to Rome, because all ways go to Rome, sir. Whether you walk, whether you fly, whether you go by sea, it does not matter how you're going to. What matters is where you are going to. Okay? So you're the one ridiculous, sir. Now you said you're going to go to, what is that? The Kaaba topic. I'll follow and get back. Oh dear. There's a new premise here when you start talking about the Kaaba. You say that there are no historical proof. There is no literature, nothing about the Kaaba, the Kaaba's existence and the whole thing. You, sir, are actually trying to dumb us down. You do your research first. Okay, I really think that you are trying to throw something on us here, and force it or shove it down our throats, that there's no mention of this Kaaba thing. There's no mention in history beside the biased Islamic sources. Come on, sir. Look, I urge you, I encourage you, you need to do some research. And when you say, well, how come it's not mentioned in the Bible? Well, what do you mean it's not mentioned in the Bible? What do you mean it's not mentioned? It's either you are telling a lie, or you are telling us that you're ignorant and you haven't read the Bible. And I'm going to drop here verses where the Kaaba is, the Makkah and the Kaaba, Makkah is mentioned there. So I don't know what you mean by there's no historical facts. You need to do a little bit of research. I'm going to follow you and get back. You are trying to refute the Kaaba by using the Bible. Does it make sense to you? Why do you want me to believe in your book? You don't believe in my book. Why do you want me to believe in your book? I can prove to you that your book is a false book. It's a man-written book. The whole lot, with very few exceptions, where actually the Bible and the Quran actually match and agree. And that's only when it comes to there is only one God. And the rest of it is all stories. Why do you want me to believe what your book is saying? If your book has been falsified, and I know what you're going to say, and you already said it, like you said, quote, why the hell would they do that? As in removing the Kaaba from the whole scriptures. You go figure. You tell me. Why would I even look into that? It is the onus, the responsibility is on you to find out. And if you can't find it out, I will. Okay? I will. I promise you, I will do a whole video about that. Okay? I will show you that Makkah and the whole area is mentioned in the Quran and in the Bible. There's no need to show you in the Quran, but it is in the Bible. And the maps, the real maps, historical maps, and the travels of Abraham, unlike the maps that you put in here, which are, because you say they are from the Bible. I do not acknowledge the Bible. So you draw in maps from the Bible, actually child play to me. I'm not interested at all, and I mean it at all. Like, I'm not interested. I don't care when you show me those, like from Samaria traveling all the way up to Haran and coming down to Egypt and then going back to Palestine. I really don't care about all that. So I'm going to follow, and I will be responding to real points, okay, not ridiculous points. I'm sorry to use these words, but honestly, I am not going to waste my time refuting a map, a child play. Okay, that's because it's all handwritten and kind of arrows and stuff like that. I will leave that on the side and I'll follow. You go on throwing on us your understanding and your opinion. Now, as a human being, I respect your opinion. I have no problem. But I don't have to accept it. Okay? I don't accept it and I don't acknowledge it. When you're saying that this Makkah thing and this Kaaba thing has no existence in history, and you used a very, very good example, I can't believe you are actually going down that way. See, since it was that important to Abraham's God, how come the Romans did not even go anywhere near it, or the Christian Romans? Wow. Wow. The Christian Romans actually were pagans. Okay, they had nothing to do with anything else except the cross and Jerusalem and whatever the idols that you have, the statue of Jesus and the statue of the sun and the statue of the moon and the fish Dagon. That's all. Why would they be interested in going to Mecca? Plus, they had no business that side anyway. And then you went into another thing, and I still respect your opinion. And you say that Makkah was nothing. Makkah was nothing. It was in a harsh desert. It was nothing. And why do you say that it was a trade place and it was buzzing and all that? Really? Honestly, like, come on. We Muslims, we say it, and even non-Muslims say it, that there was over around 260 idols in the Kaaba before Islam. Who were they worshipped by? Did you not know that all the Arabs in the Arabic Peninsula, from north to south to east to west, they were all gathering in there as an annual meeting there and trade and all that? That place was buzzing. Or did you forget about that? Oh no, you conveniently forgot. Or you probably want to put it on the side only to show to the people of nowadays, people, your followers and your audience, and deceive them and tell them, well, you see, at the time it was like something in the desert. It was all sand and it was a bleak place and there was nobody going there. Stop lying. History proved that that place was buzzing. Okay, there were caravans coming down there with all sort of merchandise and goods, and they were all traded in Mecca itself. It was like, whatever you call it, Wall Street now. That was the Wall Street of that time. Anyway, I respect your opinion, but I think you really need to do a bit of research. So I'm going to get back to you. I am at minute 10 and 16 seconds. Okay, so back to you. Sorry, my battery went off, so I had to stop the very first part and jumped into the second. I had to put my phone on charger. I stopped at the let me check what time that was. It was minute 10 23 seconds, and this is where you challenged us Muslims about the historical facts that Mecca and Kaaba existed. So I thought I will go and do a little bit of research. So here's one. It's in a website called Discover the Truth Facts. I'm going to read to you what Mr. Diodorus Siculus, born 90 BC and died 30 BC. So Diodorus Siculus was a Greek historian who wrote works on history or of history in the 1st century BC. He is known for the monumental Universal History Bibliotheca Historica. Diodorus is the first known historian long before the coming of Islam that makes mention of Mecca. Reverend Charles Augustus Goodrich, a Christian, was an American author and congregational minister, comments on Kaaba and Mecca. Although he is not fond of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but he is sincere in admitting that Kaaba existed at time of patriarchs. He says, and I'm quoting, I'm reading, among the variety of fabulous traditions which have been propagated by the follower of Muhammad concerning the origin of his building, of this building, we find it asserted that its existence is coeval with our parents, and that it was built by Adam and his expulsion from paradise, from a representation of the celestial temple which the Almighty let down from heaven in curtains of light and placed in Mecca, perpendicular under the original. To this the patriarch was commanded to turn his face when he prayed, and to compass it by way of devotion, as the angels did the heavenly one. After the destruction of this temple by the deluge, it was rebuilt by Abraham and his son Ishmael on the same spot and after the same model, according to directions which they received by revelation, and since that time it has continued to be the object of veneration to Ishmael's descendants. Whatever discredit we may give to these and other ravings of the Muslim impostor concerning the Kaaba, its high antiquity cannot be disputed. So he is calling the Muslims as imposters, but he still admits that the Kaaba antiquity cannot be disputed, and the most probable account is that it was built and used for religious purposes by some of the early patriarchs. And after the introduction of idols, it came to be appropriated to the religion of the pagan divinities. So Diodorus Siculus, in his description of the coast of the Red Sea, mentions this temple as being in his time held in great veneration by all Arabians. And Pocoki informs us that the linen of silken veil with which it was covered was first offered by a pious king of the Hammarites 700 years before the time of Muhammad. So I'm going to send a link of this website here so you guys can read. I'm going to post this. Hey, so I got back and was reading something there when you were talking about the Kaaba, as we never denied it, has been filled with hundreds of idols inside it and some others around it. And you want to be funny and say, well, and the Jews and the Christians were around there, and I was like, well, this is our holy site, and they are putting idols around it. Who cares? We'll go do shopping, stuff with our children, and we go away. Very funny. Very, very funny, sir. The way you put things forward is actually not very far from Christian Prince, a way of mocking people. You're not only mocking Muslims, but you're mocking your own audience, the Christians. There was 1,400 years ago, there were very few Christians. There were like very, very few Christians in Mecca, very few Jews in Mecca. Jews were further north in Medina. There were all their tribes. They were all concentrated in that area. And I would love to hear from you. Why were the Jews concentrated in the area of Medina? 5 tribes, and they were big. What were they doing there? Why did they leave Palestine, or what do you call Israel, and went there? What was their purpose? I can tell you if you want to. They were expecting a prophet to come from that area which is mentioned in the Bible. But I'm sure you're not going to take that. I can do a whole video about it later on, but I'm going to get it back to you. And what you are actually doing now is, you said you're trying to tell people that in the Kaaba there was a main idol called Hubal. It was the god of, or the idol of the Quraysh tribe in Mecca. Oh, look at the point you're making there. To which Muhammad belongs to. Muhammad came from Quraysh, and Quraysh had an idol called Hubal. And you're telling people, go figure, there's something going on in there, something fishy. Oh, and you totally forgot that he came actually against Quraysh and against their belief in their idols, and including Hubal. But I think I know what you're going to say now, so I'm going to pause here. Pause. Just in here, you mentioned other idols which were venerated or worshipped by other tribes around Mecca. So there was other tribes around Mecca. You said it in here in minute 11:50. Let me try to put it back.
But aside from that, the Kaaba had hundreds of other idols that were instead revered by other pagan tribes around Mecca. The Quran.
So you said it yourself. There were other tribes. Yeah. So few minutes back you said, oh, it was a barren land, it was bleak, there was nothing, there was no trade, nothing, and now you're saying that there was other tribes around it. So they claim by us Muslims and by other historians that there was excuse me, that that place was buzzing, a place of trade, was not good before, but it now you're saying that there were other tribes surrounding. Okay, I'll get back to you. So now you get back and you're telling us. So let me try. I'm going to put it to play. Now,
From that, the Kaaba had
I want you to watch this.
that were instead revered by other
I hope.
tribes around Mecca. The Quraysh were a tribe of merchants, which is why other Arab tribes used to visit them very often. And
yeah, that's what you said. So before it was nothing, there was nothing, and there was no trade, there was nothing, and now, oh yeah, they are merchants and people are visiting them, so they come in to worship their idols and all that. So yeah, only when it serves you, you say it. When it doesn't serve you, you don't say it. Oh my God, you just throw an allegation in there and you say that when the prophet, when Muhammad actually claimed his prophethood, he didn't care about the Kaaba, but he had hostility. There was hostility between him and the Christians and the Jews. I dare you and I challenge you to bring us any hostilities that were between him and the Jews and the Christians when in the beginning of his message, like when he was in Mecca for the 13 years. I challenge you to do that. You just said it in minute 12:27 seconds. So I'm gonna check it and get back to you. Whoa, sir, it's like you've memorized all what you're saying. When you're trying to say to people that Muhammad tried to get rid of anything that is Christian or Jewish, and he kept only the pagan side of it. You are very funny, very, very, very funny. Yeah, if he wanted to get rid of anything that is Christian and Jewish, why did he talk about Moses? Why did he talk about Jesus? Why did he talk about Noah? Why did he talk about Abraham? That if he was talking, but for us he's not talking. For us it's Allah who's talking, telling him stories. How, if he wanted to get rid of anything that is Christian and Jews, why would he come to the Arabs whom never liked the Jews and said to them, well, the best woman, the most honored woman in history is a Jewish woman called Mary, and her son is the one of the greatest messengers, and he's a Jew. Funny. And he talks about the Bani Israel, the Israelite, all their life. 70% of the Quran is about the Jews. And this man is this deceiver here, apostate, whatever his name is saying that, oh, Muhammad tried to get anything that's Jewish and then Christian, he wanted to throw it out and bring in his pagan religion. It's amazing. Let me see if I could get that bit back.
Hostilities with Christians and Jews who rejected his message clearly, and since his own tribe, the Quraysh, and other pagans rejected his message very clearly and strictly, it looks like his interest in the Kaaba was something that had more to do with his pagan origins and with his feud with the pagans. It looks like he gradually wanted to get rid of Christian and Jewish influence.
Do you hear that?
Religion.
Do you hear that?
He also wanted to get rid of the pagan pressure.
Did you hear that?
The pagans in Mecca didn't like him.
Did you hear that? He said that he wanted to get rid of anything that's Jewish and Christian. Yeah, and anything that's pagan. Yet he comes up with a Quran that speaks about the Jews only and speaks about Jesus as well. And everywhere. It's all about Jesus. It's all about Moses. It's all about the message to them. It's all about history. It's all about other nations and other scriptures. Yet he comes to tell you guys that Muhammad wanted to get rid of all that. I'll leave it to you. You judge. Okay, I'm back and I want to wrap it up. I'm just like I am at minute 13 and 11 seconds, and his video is 14 minutes 42 seconds, and he's at the end now. He's just saying that our prophets replicated the pagan rituals. He's talking about the tawaf and Blackstone and other things, which I have covered in other videos, and I don't want to be repeating unless someone asks me, and I will do it at request. Okay, now I just want to tell you that this apostate prophet is a liar and a deceiver. That's all I can tell you for now, and I will follow his videos. I know that there are other brothers who refuted him, and so I don't want to be wasting time on him because I'm busy and I have other things to do. So peace be on you. Assalamu alaikum.